Hello, everybody. Dragon47 here. How is it going? I hope you all enjoyed your 4th of July. I know I certainly did, and I was supposed to get a video out to you guys last week, but I didn't because I was lazy. And I also had no signal because I went camping out for a week. So please don't hate. I plan on getting 2 videos out here within the week to help compensate for that. But for now, Great League is around the corner. There's 2 days until he gets here as of the time I'm making this video. And I want to cover, before the Great League starts, one of my favorite tanks in all of Great League, the king who formerly lost his crown to another Pokemon we'll talk about in a future video. It's Garbink. And why he's so good. We're talking about Registeel. Registeel actually ranks second place on PvPoke. The preferred moves you use on it are Lock On, Focus Blast, and Zap Cannon. The reason why you want to use Registeel is because he counters a lot of the Great League, and if your opponent does not have an answer for him, he just kind of rolls. He just kind of destroys the enemy team. He destroys all those ice types like Whalewyn, Alolan Ninetales. He can throw hands with Alolan Sandslash and Dugong. He destroys Azumarill and a Lantern. And he even puts the flyers in check, like Altaria, Noctowl, Pelipper, and even Pidgeot. He just destroys them all. He's such a good Pokemon. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have weaknesses, though. For the most part, I've seen Medicham come up as like his biggest weakness, 110%. I believe Medicham is just his absolute worst nightmare. I don't see a whole lot of people running Trevenant, but I can kind of see why. I know why Trevenant would win, but there's just not a lot of Trevenant players left nowadays, and frankly, I really wouldn't worry too much. Maybe people will see it. Personally, I still don't see it, so guess it's really up to what you run into. Galarian Stunfisk will always be a threat. Registeel can win the Galarian Stunfisk matchup, though, thanks to Focus Blast, if he has shield advantage. So you have to play shields right in order to win into Stunfisk. But if Stunfisk has even, if not more shields than you, then yeah, you're pretty much dead. Shadow Victory Bell, you see this Pokemon from time to time in the really higher up leagues. I don't usually see it right away in the beginning, like on your first route all the way up to 20. I ran into it like maybe 1 or 2 times. Then again, I was just kind of running an answer for it, which to me, my answer for it is oddly Pelipper, because I'll just dedicate shields to try and get rid of it. But that's for my team comp. Registeel's still got to watch out for it. And Dunsparce, surprisingly, is a pretty tanky mon. Focus Blast is super effective against it, but it gets to Drill Run way faster than you can get to a Focus Blast, and unfortunately that makes it a tough target. Realistic Pokemon that you'll see in place of Dunsparce, I've come to learn, though, that do still counter Registeel, you have to watch out for Obstagoon. Obstagoon is a monster. That goes same for Vigoroth. Sure, they may have to dedicate a shield if you're going to throw a Focus Blast at them, but usually it only takes one shield and you're already dead because those two Pokemon are, going to take you out. And if you only get in one shield with Registeel, not holding shield advantage, then you're not playing the Registeel correctly, because you need to either be doing damage or closing games with Registeel, or you need to get your Registeel to take both of your opponent's shields at bare minimum. Just getting one shield is not usually preferred, in my experience. I've been playing Registeel for a while, and, well, that's just kind of the gist I've got from it as of the most part. So where do you place Registeel? Well, you can kind of do it a whole bunch of different ways. Most people, including myself, I like to use it as a closer. I like to use it to finish endgame or potentially as a switch from time to time. I know I probably shouldn't use it as much as a switch as I should, but I do, mainly because I like to use it to catch moves that aren't super effective against it. And frankly, I just enjoy the idea of Registeel being able to tank a lot of hits, putting a lot of shield pressure, and then throwing in, either Pelipper or Stunfisk or my new comp, which I'm going to be getting to here in a little bit, that I will be running. It involves Altaria in its place. Now that I'm going to be running Altaria as opposed to Stunfisk, though, I'm going to have a bit of a change up. Again, later video. But for the most part, you're going to be using it as a closer, unless you're using it in the ABA double steal team, which definitely is a thing. You can partner Registeel with Galarian Stunfisk or Bastiodon, and they just work super well together for reasons as of I don't know why. They just work super great. And some people even lead Registeel with a Medicham in the back. So if you're seeing a Registeel lead, I would highly anticipate a Medicham in the back, because that's usually what they do when they're doing like ABA or something like that. Medicham and Registeel are commonly seen together, so don't be surprised if you run into a Medicham and there's a Registeel in the back, or a Registeel if there's a Medicham in the back. It's, like I said, it's extremely bulky. It has great shield pressure. It's just super de-duper great. Moves on Registeel. Personally, I like Lock On, Zap Cannon, and Focus Blast. The reason why I like these is because Lock On is his fastest energy generating move, and Metal Claw isn't super great. There isn't a whole lot that you can do with it. Sure, it takes down the ice types and the fairy types, but we're not really in a fairy heavy meta as of the moment. Yeah, you can deal with the ice types, but that's kind of what Focus Blast is there for, because Focus Blast can do the exact same thing. And Rock Smash is okay, but it's just not as fast as Lock On. Lock On is just the better move in general. As of for heavy moves, Zap Cannon is his elite move. That's like his best move. You should be running Zap Cannon. If not, I have no idea what you are doing. Zap Cannon's just so good. It's just the ultimate no card. It's the Uno reverse card. It hits like a truck. It kills all the flyers. It kills all of the water types, which there are a lot of both in the meta as of the current moment. And it even just does a bunch of neutral damage to anything, and it provides a debuff, which is absolutely crazy. Sure, there's only like a 75% chance the debuff goes off, but the odds for that are still pretty high. And if it doesn't go off, you know it's not the end of the world. You just got to play it a little bit more safe. Super duper good move. And then you run Focus Blast to help deal with a lot of the other things that are in the meta. You mainly run Focus Blast to stop Pokemon like Lickitung. It's an answer for Vigoroth and Obstagoon, because those two are super duper scary, and you force them to give up a shield when you do that. Focus Blast is also good against all those ice-type Pokemon, so Dugong's got to watch out for it. Alolan Sandslash has got to watch out. It can do a whole bunch of damage to Galarian Stunfisk, but Galarian Stunfisk, as I said before, needs to dedicate shields. Except Sonora, that's the way you win against Galarian Stunfisk with Registeel, is you use the Focus Blast against it, and you hold shield advantage. Because if you don't have that, then you're going to lose. Because of other charged moves that you could potentially run on it, it sounds kind of silly, but you could run Flash Cannon. I know Registeel has been nerfed in the past, thanks to the move Flash Cannon, especially since we were in a very heavy dominated meta last meta. So people were running, Focus Blast, Flash Cannon. But with the additional move of Zap Cannon and other things like that, I think you're just going to have a better time using Focus Blast and Zap Cannon as opposed to Hyper Beam, because they're just going to do more for you based in the current meta. And Hyper Beam is okay. Hyper Beam just provides a neutral nuke that just nukes everything to the most part. But then you lose out on, being able to win against other steel types in the meta. So you just auto lose against Pokemon like Galarian Stunfisk, which personally I think can be pretty bad. I'm not necessarily a fan of just losing to Galarian Stunfisk like that, so no. I guess for other Pokemon that you have to watch out, other than fighters for Registeel, you got to remember that Diggersby, potentially Quagsire in a sense, and Swampert exist, and those three could be very, very dangerous for you as well, because Earth is super effective against Steel. Your main weaknesses include Fighting, Fire, and Ground, as I have just said, so Pokemon like that you really want to watch out for. They are not necessarily things you want to be tangling with for too long unless you know you can hold your own and get the advantage. The reason why Registeel is so good is because it has all these resistances, and yes, it is an expensive second move charge cost, which is 100,000 Stardust, but the return is so worth it. I've won so many games. He helped me get into Ace. It was just a really, really good addition to my team. I will definitely be rating more Registeels in the future because I want to try and get a better one than the one I currently have. But even out the gate, because you're kind of stuck with it for the most part when you get it, it's just so, so good. Teammates. So team comps, teammates. What do you run with a Registeel? Well, out the gate, I'm going to tell you, Registeel is usually paired, like I said, with Medicham if you're doing the ABA Steel team, or more than likely he's partnered with a Flyer. I've seen Altaria. My current team comp is literally Pelipper, Altaria, Registeel as of the time I'm making this video. I'm going to be changing that because I love Stunfisk, don't get me wrong, but my issue is I don't have a good enough one. He keeps getting rolled, and I kind of just don't want to deal with that anymore. I'd rather have more answers to Medicham and other sorts of things with Altaria as opposed to running G-Fisk, and I also just caught a really good Altaria recently, so I'm going to be running that instead. Pelipper, Altaria, Noctowl, all really, really good. If you're running Noctowl with Registeel, the odds of you running Lantern are very likely. You're probably also running something else in place of Lantern. You're probably running Swampert if you're not running Swampert with Noctowl, if you're not running Lantern, because Swampert is really, really good, partnered with that as well. Similar Pokemon that are like Registeel, kinda in a sense, if you don't actually have one. There's Regirock. Regirock can be decent as well. Probopass, Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk, Regice, technically Diggersby in a sense. But yeah, he does really, really good. Registeel himself is just a super great Pokemon. I'm going to put some team comps up here for you on the screen as to what you would want to run with Registeel. This pretty much covers the topic of Registeel the best I can. The only way to truly show you how good Registeel is to show you in battle. Unfortunately, like I said, Great League is in a few days. I will get some battles to you guys out here in a little bit. But this is a new format of how I'm going to be doing videos, and I wanted to test and see how you like this one better compared to the last one. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys have a great day.